morning, everybody. I'm coming to you today from outside at my mom's house. So you might get a few little nature sounds. It's really quite beautiful out here. We are going to be moving through a 90-minute flow, and we'll build the flow up gradually. So I'm not using any props today, but if you have a couple of blocks, you might want to bring them in. Or if you have a low chair, just because there'll be quite a few step throughs, and sometimes raising the hands can give us a little bit more space. So maybe grabbing those things, and then we'll get started in a seated position, just a loose cross of the legs, grounding through the sit bones, lengthening up through the crown of the head, and taking the hands to the knees or the thighs, palms facing up or down. Bring your awareness to your spine and just ensure its length. And when you feel that length, that stability, close down your eyes. And start to draw the breath deeper in and out through the nose. Just taking some time here to listen to your breathing, to observe the way the breath feels in the body this morning. As we observe, we do so without judgment, without getting attached to any reasons why our breath might be the way that it is. And as we bring focus to the breath, start to notice your field of awareness focusing in on yourself. So from all the things going on around you, start to withdraw so that you can turn inward. When I visualize this in my mind, I visualize it like a camera with a really wide focus. And then as you draw in, the edges blur and blur and blur until you're really close to something at your center. Focusing on this center, this thing at the very root of you. With this focus, perhaps the breath has started to smooth out. If not, that's okay. Going to move into a breath exercise that involves some retention. So if that's not feeling comfortable for you today, you can leave the retention out, and we'll just aim for equal inhales and equal exhales. Otherwise, we're going to inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold for 4. So it's like a square breath. And that just really helps us tune into the way that we use our breath. It slows things down a little for us. So if the counts aren't quite working for you, you can shorten, you can lengthen in any way you need to. This is your practice. Otherwise, let's exhale completely together. And then take a deep breath in through the nose, filling up as much as you can. Open the mouth, a slow sigh out. We'll do this one more time, in through the nose. Open the mouth, a slow sigh out. Okay, coming back to nostril breathing, in through the nose. Out through the nose. And we'll start here, inhaling for 4, 3, 2, 1. Retain the breath. 4, 3, 2, 1. Slow exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Steady inhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Relaxed hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. So exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Retain at the bottom. 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. Steady. 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath without tensing the face. 2, 1. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 4. Notice how the mind responds. 2, 1. Inhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. 4, 3, 2, 1. Slow exhale. 4, 3. Empty out. 2, 1. Pause. 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. Fill the container. Pause with the container full. Exhale slowly, let the air out of the container, empty out, and pause with the container empty. Let's keep this going for a couple more rounds of breath in your own count. Observing the 4 parts of the breath, so we're not just inhaling and exhaling. There is a space at the top, there is a space at the bottom for us to be in, for us to notice. Once you've finished your next exhale, release the pauses and just bring the breath back in and out through the nostrils slowly and steadily, and observe the effects of that practice. Maybe we feel a little more focused, a little more connected. Let's release the hands from the knees or the thighs and bring the palms together at the heart center. If you have an intention for your practice, you might want to gather it into your heart now. And take a moment to let it settle. We'll open our practice with 1 chant of Om. So inhaling, exhaling. Inhale for Om. Bowing the head forward. Softly blinking open your eyes, and we're going to release the hands down onto the mat in front of us. And start to creep the hands forward. And taking a slight opening for your lower back. This doesn't need to be a big movement. It doesn't need to be a full lean forward. Keep grounding through the sit bones. Keep the length of the spine. And then draw the chin down toward the chest. Allowing the back of the neck to be long. We're going to keep the hands where they are. On your next inhale, start to draw the chest forward as if you're trying to take it between your upper arms. Lift the gaze slightly, maybe looking forward. Then as you exhale, draw chin toward chest, lengthen through the back of the neck. So it's a really subtle cat-cow movement. Inhale, draw the chest forward, the heart space forward, between the upper arms, look forward. Not up. Exhale, draw chin to chest. Keep anchoring back with the sit bones. We'll do 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, send the chest forward. Exhale, draw belly button to backbone. Take the hands away from the mat. Inhale, reach them all the way up. Lift and lengthen out. Then on the exhale, left hand goes to right knee. Right fingertips come behind us. Inhale, sit a little taller. We go for the twist on the exhale. Look back over your right shoulder. Hallelujah. Release the twist. Inhale, float both hands back up to center. And then exhale, we'll go right hand, left knee, left hand floats back to the mat behind you. Inhale, tall. And exhale, look back over your left shoulder. Inhale, we'll reach the hands up, all the way up. Exhale, we're going to bring the hands back in front of us. This time we do it so that we can rock over the knees and come into a tabletop. So I'm going to turn sideways to come onto my mat. Hands plant down, lift the hips, and come into a tabletop. All right, off my mat, miss. Come on. Come on. Oh, no. Coming into your tabletop, wrists under shoulders. Knees under hips, thank you. And then we'll take that cat-cow movement again, this time because the spine is parallel to the mat, there's more space to move across the hips. But we want to focus on the inhale, drawing the chest forward between the upper arms, and the sit bones will sort of tilt up naturally. Gaze forward, not up. Exhale, hollow out the belly, draw chin to chest, lengthen through the back of the neck, and dome through the upper back. 3 more, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And starting to warm the body. Deep breath in. And long breath out. Inhale, coming back to a neutral spine, drawing the knees and the feet together. Toes are untucked. And as we exhale, we're going to sit hips back to heels. If you need to pop something in between your thighs and your calves, just to give the knees a little bit of space, please do so. Or if this is not great for the knees, you can sit up in a kneeling position. So lifting all the way up. Otherwise, we're going to stay here. Inhale, reach the arms up. So anchoring down through the sit bones, lifting up through the fingertips. Big breath in. Then on the exhale, left hand comes to the outside of the right knee. Right fingertips float back behind us. Inhale, come up through center. So working through quite a few twists today. Exhale, take it to the other side. Moving with the breath. Inhale, arms come all the way up. Exhale, left hand forward, right hand back. And then from here, we're going to inhale, hands to heart, stay in the twist. Exhale, lean forward, take your left elbow to the outside of the right knee. Press against it, draw the right shoulder back, inhale, and if it's accessible, start to look up toward the ceiling or the sky for 3, 2, 1. Exhale, looking down. Belly button to backbone. Inhale, lift up. Let's take the hands straight up through center. Exhale, right hand forward, left hand back. Inhale, bring hands to heart. Stay in the twist, and then exhale, lean forward. Right elbow searches for the outside of the left knee. Inhale, draw your left shoulder back in space, and if it's accessible, look up for 3, 2, 1. Exhale, look down. Belly button to backbone. Inhale, come up through center. Let's take the arms all the way up. And then exhale, bow forward, coming into our Utthita Balasana, our extended child's pose. So hands reach as far forward on the mat as they can, and we start to lower the forehead down. If you want to create a bit of space for your belly, taking the knees a little wider, feel free to do so. Otherwise, we are going to keep the knees together if that feels comfortable. Feeling the length of the spine here. Keep the arms active, so let's not drop the arms down. Instead, press into the fingertips, lift the elbows up, wrap the armpits toward the center line of your body. Strong, active arms. We've got one more breath in here. One more breath out. Pressing down into the palms. Inhale, lift your head, look forward, and we're going to float up until shoulders come forward of wrists. Grip into the fingertips, tuck the tailbone under. As you exhale, bend the elbows just until your shoulders and your elbows come almost in line, and then press away from the mat. Inhale, lift back up. Exhale, press back, Utthita Balasana. Again, inhale, flow it up. Press away from the mat. Shoulders forward of wrists. Exhale, bend the elbows. It does not need to be big. And we go no deeper than shoulders and elbows in one line. Press away from the mat. Come back up. Inhale. Exhale. Reach back through the sit bones. This time we'll come down onto the belly. So we inhale, come up and forward. Exhale, bend the elbows and pause. Inhale. Exhale, lower all the way down, thighs, hips, belly, chest. Press through the tops of the feet, press down through the pubic bone. Inhale, shine the chest forward. Roll the shoulders back. Maybe hover the hands and plug the shoulder blades together for 3. Neck is long, so we don't want to be jutting the chin forward. For 2, gaze is down or just a tiny bit in front of you. For 1, if the hands are lifted, placing them back down on the mat and lowering yourself down, tucking the toes under. Press into hands and knees, come up on the inhale. Keep the toes tucked, press back. Take weight down into the hands, lift the knees, and come up toward your downward facing dog. If your feet are still together like mine, you can separate them out to hip distance apart now. So slowly melting into the shape of your down dog. Keep pressing down and forward through the hands. Keep the length, the activity of the arms that we found in our Utthita Balasana. Wrap the armpits in toward your center line. Allow the neck to be long, the head to be heavy, as if the forehead is still resting down onto the mat. The knees are soft, but the thigh bones are pressing back in space. The inner thighs are wrapping back a little more. Let's take a deep breath in here. And a full breath out. One more because it feels good. Inhale. And exhale. All right, inhale, looking up toward the front of the mat. Roll to your tippy toes. Exhale, bend the knees. And at the bottom of the breath, when you're empty out, step forward between your hands. It's the inhale that lifts us to our half lift. Fingertips can stay on the mat or maybe hands to shins. Soften the knees. Exhale, fold down. Press into the feet. Inhale, rise to standing. Sweep the arms up at the Hastasana. Exhale, draw the hands to your heart. And we start to flow. Inhale, send the arms up, sweeping them wide and lifting and lengthening. Soften the knees, hinge at the hips. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, chest shines forward, neck stays long, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold, plant the hands. We're going to go right foot, then left foot back, press back, downward facing dog. Feet are together. Inhale, roll forward toward your plank. Shoulders come forward of the wrists. Exhale, bring the knees down. Untuck the toes, low plank. Inhale here. And then use the exhale to lower all the way down to the mat. All the way down in one line. Press into the feet, press into the pubic bone. Inhale, lift cobra. Maybe the hands stay on the mat and we lift a little bit higher. Exhale, melt down. Tuck the toes under, press hips back to heels. Inhale. And then exhale, lift up, downward facing dog. Just one breath this time in. And out. Inhale, look forward to your hands. Roll to your tippy toes. Lift your hips, lift your heels. Exhale, bend the knees. Hold the breath at the bottom. Step to the front of the mat. Maybe stepping with the other foot this time. The inhale lifts us half lift. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana, belly on thighs. Press into the feet. Inhale, rise up. Circle the arms up. Maybe the palms find each other. Exhale, draw hands to heart. Again, inhale, take the arms up. Uniting movement and breath. Exhale, so if you're breathing a little faster than me, or moving a little faster than me, or maybe you're moving and breathing a little slower. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold, plant the hands back, step back, left foot, then right, and then press back, downward facing dog. Inhale, let's roll forward to our plank. Exhale, knees come down, toes untuck, low plank. Inhale, rock a little further forward, firm belly button to backbone. Exhale, bend the elbows, squeeze them into the sides as you lower all the way down. Okay, we're adding on. Inhale, lift to your cobra. You can stay in your cobra, or we're going to press up to our up dog here. So pressing down through the tops of the feet. Keep the angle of the body. Press firmly into the arms. Take the arms straight. And then notice how lifted my hips are. We want to keep the activity of hips up, but start to draw chest between upper arms. Gazing forward, not jutting the chin out and crunching through the neck. Keep imagining that you're trying to draw your pubic bone up toward your lower ribs for 3. Drawing your hands and your feet toward each other for 2. For 1, if you're still in your cobra, lower down, press back toward your downward facing dog. Up dogs, pull hands toward feet, lift hips, press back, down dog. And we'll go for 3 breaths here. My mat is falling into the garden, so I'm just gonna scooch it back onto the carpet. Once you finish your 3rd breath, use your next inhale, look forward to your hands. Roll to your tippy toes, lift your hips, lift your heels. Exhale, bend the knees, empty of breath. You can step or maybe hop your feet forward to the front of the mat. The inhale lifts us half lift. Exhale, soften and fold. Press down through the feet, sweep yourself up to standing, inhale. Exhale, hands gather toward the heart center. Let's take a few breaths here. You might want to close down the eyes and just check in with how you're feeling. Notice the rate, the rhythm of your breathing. Notice the beat of your heart up into your hands. Notice the quality of thoughts in the mind. Their pace, their tone. And if you feel like that camera focus has started to widen again, take some time to draw it back in, let the edges go blurry. Find yourself here on your mat. When you're ready, let the hands come down by the sides, and if your eyes are closed, blink them open. Inhale, circle the arms up. Soften the knees, hinge at the hips. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Glue your belly onto your thighs, bend your knees. Sit the weight back into your heels and your hips, but belly stays glued on thighs. Fingertips are going to come to the mat, palms face inward toward each other. So bend the knees more generously. Fingertips to the mat, palms face inward toward the center line. All right, belly button to lower back. We're keeping the hips as low as they are. On the next inhale, reach the hands forward. Maybe pull the hips back a little bit more if there's room. Exhale, sweep the hands back down. We're keeping the legs where they are. 2 more times. Inhale, Belly stays on thighs. Exhale. One more on the inhale, reaching forward, and then we're going to use the exhale to pull belly off thighs. Firm it up, tuck the tailbone under. Find your chair pose, Utkatasana for 3. Legs are starting to burn for 2. For one more inhale. Exhale, fold it down, Uttanasana. Inhale, half lift, lengthen. Exhale, soften and fold. Plant the hands, step or jump back. We find our downward facing dog. Starting to work with lots of options now. Inhale, we're going to pull forward to our plank. You have the option to bend the knees. Exhale, lower maybe all the way down or through your full chaturanga. Inhale to your cobra or perhaps your upward facing dog. Beware of dropping the hips. And then the exhale moves us back toward our downward facing dog. If you're in your cobra, make sure you lower first. Let's meet here with a full inhale. And a full exhale. Inhale, look forward to your hands. Exhale, bring your knees down. Keep your toes tucked. Press into your knees. Inhale, reach your arms all the way up. Exhale, step your right foot forward. Find a little low lunge. Keep the tailbones tucked under the tailbone, just one of them. Inhale, reach the arms up a little higher. We're going to go for a twist. Exhale, left hand forward, right hand back. Excuse my back. Inhale, bring the palms together toward the heart center. Exhale, lean forward. We take left elbow toward the outside of the right knee. And then we press against it and start to draw the right shoulder back, working into a deeper twist. Notice as you draw the right shoulder back, if your right hip is pulling back and we're coming out of line, you can work the right hip forward slightly just to keep it in line with the left, so the twist is through the spine and not through the hips. Breathing here. What happens to your breath when you find a twist? We're compressing a lot of the space in the body that we usually use to breathe. Can we keep the breath steady? Let's go for one more full breath in. Use the exhale, gaze down to your mat. Firm belly button to lower back. Inhale, lift up through center. We're going to reach the arms high. And then exhale, circle the hands forward and down behind your right foot. Inhale, draw the hips back, flex the right toes up, finding some length through the right hamstring. Exhale, soften toward your right leg. We're going to place left palm down underneath left shoulder. Inhale, press that left arm to straight. So if you want to bring some height under this left palm, please do so. Left palm down. Right hip draws back in space. Right heel is pressing down, and we're going to use the in-breath to reach the right arm up. Right fingertips up, right hip back and down for 3. 2. 1, the exhale turns the gaze and the right hand down toward the mat. Inhale to lift us onto the fingertips, chest shines between the upper arms. Exhale, bend the right knee, plant the hands forward, toes are still tucked on the left foot, so we just inhale, pick that left knee up, rise the hips up. Exhale, step back, down dog. You have the option to stay here. You have the option to find a child's pose. You have the option to move through your variation of a vinyasa. So whether you're working with your knees up or your knees down as you move through plank, chaturanga, cobra, or up dog, make sure that you're choosing the options that are feeling best for your body today. And we meet back in our downward facing dog. Let's find a full inhale. And a long exhale. Wrap those armpits in. Inhale, look forward to your hands. Toes stay tucked. Exhale, bring the knees down. Firm through the knees. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, it's the left foot that steps forward. We sing forward through the hips. Keep the tailbone tucked under, the hips even. Inhale, reach the arms a little higher for the length of the spine. Exhale, it's right hand forward, left hand back. Reach, touch either ends of your room. Inhale, hands draw together at the heart. Now keep the twist. Exhale, lean forward, right elbow finds the outside of the left knee so we can press against it. Draw the left shoulder back in space. Notice if you're also pulling that left hip back and rocking out to your right side. We're now curling the spine as we do that, and we're twisting through the hips. So we want the hips to stay even, the spine to stay long as you draw that left shoulder back and wring it out. For 3, 2, 1. It's an exhale that switches the gaze down toward the left foot. And an inhale that unravels, picks us all the way up. Reach the arms up. Exhale, circle the hands forward and down. Fingertips brush the mat behind the left foot. So we can inhale, have space to pull the hips back. Flex the left toes up. Exhale, soften a little toward the left leg so we find that hamstring stretch. This leg does not need to be completely straight. We press down through the heel, draw back through the left hip, and find the right hand on the mat directly underneath the right shoulder. It can be raised by a block or a book or anything you have by you if we want to find a little bit more space here. So press down through the hand, lift out of the shoulder, down through the heel, draw back through the hip, and then on the inhale, peeling open, reaching your left arm up in space. For 3, 2, 1. The exhale circles gaze down, left hand down. Fingertips to the mat. Inhale, lift your head, look forward. My hair just got stuck in the tree. Exhale, sweep forward into the lunge. Plant the hands down. Right toes are still tucked. Inhale, lift the hips, create space. Exhale, step back, down dog. You can stay, you can find a child's pose or move through your vinyasa. As you lower in whatever variation you're taking, keep pressing away from the mat with your hands. So there's an active lift all through this sequence. We're not just letting ourselves collapse downward. Meet back in your downward facing dog when you're ready. And we'll find a long inhale and a complete exhale. Inhale, look forward to your mat. Roll to your tippy toes. Lift your hips, lift your heels. Exhale, bend the knees generously. Empty out of breath and hold the breath out as you step or maybe hop your feet forward between your hands. Inhale, half lift, fingertips to the mat or hands to shins. Exhale, fold back down, Uttanasana. Glue belly onto thighs and then bend the knees, sit back into your chair. Weight pulls back to the hips and the heels. Maybe this time the toes lift and spread. Fingertips are on the mat, palms are turned inward to face each other. Squeeze the inner thighs, sit back a little bit more. All right, we're going to keep belly on thighs. Inhale, reach the arms forward. This allows the hips to pull back a little more. Then exhale, pull belly off thighs. Tuck the tailbone under. Find your chair. Squeeze the inner thighs. Draw your hands to your heart. We're going to take left elbow to the outside of the right knee, draw the weight back into the hips, draw the right shoulder back and find a little twist. Keep looking down. Notice if your left knee has started to pull forward of your right and bring the knees back into line. This is a good indicator that the hips are in line. Once we've found that alignment, you might want to shift the gaze upward for 3, 2, 1, unraveling. Inhale through center, legs are on fire. Exhale to the other side, right elbow to the outside of the left knee, press against it, draw the left shoulder back, long through the spine, firm through the belly. Make sure that right knee isn't creeping forward in space. Can we sit the hips a little bit lower for 3, 2, 1. Let's inhale, reach forward. All the way up, exhale, melt down. And we'll take a few breaths in, out, Uttanasana. Let's heel toe the feet out to hip distance apart. Soften the knees. Hang the torso, hang the head heavy. And you're welcome to take any variation with the arms that feels good here. You might want to hold opposite elbows and ragdoll. You might want to hug the legs and tuck yourself in. You might just want to keep the hands on the mat. Feeling space through the back body, closing down the eyes. Making sure there's no tension through the face, the neck, or the shoulders. And we'll take a few breaths here. And letting the dynamic nature of the movement so far settle. And whatever arm variation you have taken, releasing your hands back down toward the mat, looking down, spreading the fingers out, pressing down into your palms, and we'll walk it back, downward facing dog. Keep pressing down and forward through the hands. On the next inhale, the right leg is going to lift up, hips stay even, heel up, toes down, foot is flexed. And then as you exhale, draw your right knee forward toward your nose. Inhale, pick your knee up even closer to your chest. Create space. Exhale, step that right foot between your hand. If you need to take a few steps to get it there, or pick it up with your hand and bring it forward, please do so. We learn to create space. It doesn't happen all at once. So work with your body as it is today. Enjoy the journey. Once the feet are grounded and we've found a nice wide lunge with the legs, we take weight into the feet out of the hands, and we're going to pick ourselves up into a crescent lunge. So sweeping the arms forward and up, tucking the tailbone under, pressing the left hip forward, the left heel back. The left leg does not need to be straight. If in taking that left leg straighter, your left hip starts to pull back, keep the knee a little bent, keep pressing the left hip forward. All right, inhale, reach the hands up. As you exhale, circle left hand forward, right hand back. Keep your shoulders over your hips. Right hand is going to circle back toward the left leg. Be really gentle with this movement. As you inhale, start to draw the left hand upward toward the ceiling. And if this is feeling okay on the lower back and quite stable, you can start to paint that left hand backwards in space. Only if that feels okay. Feel that radical stretch down the left front side of the body for 3, 2, 1. If the left hand has moved back, pick it back up on the inhale, and then we'll all circle it forward and down to the inside of the right foot. Spread the fingers, press into the palm. Inhale, reach the right arm up, all the way up in space, and then we're moving to our side plank from here. So we're pressing out of the left shoulder, rolling to the outside edge of the left foot, heel toeing or stepping that right foot back. If we want to modify, we're dropping the left knee down to the mat, keeping the right side of the body long. Okay, so using the options that feel best for you. Keep pressing out of your left shoulder. Take the hips a little bit higher, finding that lift away from the mat rather than sinking down toward it for 3, for 2, for 1. From here, right hand is going to circle down. Find your full plank. Inhale, straight to your down dog, to a child's pose, or through a vinyasa as you start to exhale. Remember, the knees can always come down. And we meet back in our downward facing dog. I'm falling into the garden again, so I'm just going to scoot my back back. We'll meet back in our down dog. A deep breath in to settle here. A long breath out. We take this to the other side. So it's the left leg that lifts. Hips stay even, heel up, toes down to the length of the body. Exhale, left knee to nose, curl forward. And then inhale, pick that knee up, right up into the chest. This creates space so that we can exhale, step the left foot forward. Take your time to get it up between your hands. And then bend generously through the left knee. The weight comes into the feet, out of the hands. Belly off the left thigh. Inhale, we'll sweep ourselves up, crescent lunge, and find our lines. Hips are even. Right hip presses forward, right heel presses back. Make sure that the right hip wins so that the hips are always even. The heel doesn't pull the hips out of line. Tailbone tucks under, ribs and hip bones draw toward each other. Inhale, reach the fingertips a little higher. Exhale, right hand forward, left hand back. Inhale here, touch the front of the room, touch the back of the room. And then as you exhale, it's the left hand that starts to reach back toward the right leg. Just touching it lightly, the right arm is reaching up. This might be more than enough. It's quite a bit of balance here. Squeeze the inner thighs, or if you've got the space, start to reach that right arm back. Feeling a nice big stretch down the front right side of the body. For 3. For 2. 1. Inhale, come all the way up nice and carefully. Exhale, right hand down to the inside of the left foot. Spread the fingers, press into the palm. Inhale, lift out of the shoulder. Exhale, roll to the outside edge of the right foot. Heel, toe, or step that left foot back. Hips stay high. We've found our side plank. Hips a little higher. Remember that right knee can be down as needed. Press outward of the right shoulder, touch the ceiling, touch the sky for 3, 2, 1. Exhale, left hand comes down, full plank, straight to your down dog or through a vinyasa, using the options that feel best for you today. And when we really listen, when we tune in to the wisdom of our bodies and work with it, we avoid the injuries that come with pushing too far, the injuries that come with working with the ego. So it's really important to listen. No one's going to be able to feel what you're feeling except for yourself. Meeting back in our down dog. We're going to make our way back up to the top of the mat. If you're hopping like I am, feet between hands, and you're finding the hop a little difficult, try walk the feet together and really work on squeezing the inner thighs. This can help give us a little bit more lift. So inhale, lift hips, lift heels, look forward. Exhale, empty of breath, bend the knees generously, and then pop your feet forward between your hands. Inhale, half lift, lengthen out. Exhale, soften and fold. Press down through the feet. We'll come all the way up to standing. Inhale, sweep the arms up, lift and lengthen. It's so nice to stand tall. Exhale, hands draw toward the center of the heart. Close down your eyes. Take a few moments here, just checking in. The quality of your breath, the quality of the thoughts in your mind, the pace, the rhythm. The focus of your lens. If you set an intention, maybe refining it and observing it, the way that it's influencing your practice today. Once you feel the beat of your heart start to settle, the rate of your breath start to settle, blink open the eyes and bring the hands back down by your sides. We're working our way back down to the mat. Inhale, take your arms up. Exhale, soften the knees, hinge at the hips, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, half lift, lengthen out. Exhale, fold, plant the hands down, step it straight back, down dog. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, bend the knee, peel open the hip. Inhale, reach the right knee as high as you can toward the ceiling, toward the sky. And then exhale, we're going to circle the right knee forward, left tricep, cross under the body. 2 more times. Inhale, send it back, lift it up. Exhale, draw right knee forward, left tricep. 1 more time. Inhale, back and up. Exhale, right knee forward, left tricep. And then right tricep. And then right wrist. Left foot hooks in toward the left wrist, left knee comes down, and we're working into our pigeon. So starting to bring the feet away from each other, lowering the hips evenly downward. And this doesn't mean we need to get all the way to the mat. The hips can stay lifted and we can still find a really nice stretch here. So untucking the back toes. The top of the back foot is directly downward on the mat. The toes are pointing straight back behind you. If you want to bring a cushion or just a little bit of height underneath that right glute, please do so to keep the hips even. And we're going to start to lower ourselves downward into this. So lengthening forward so that the spine stays as long as it can. And I'm going to work into a little bit of a funky twist here. This is quite a deep shape. So taking your time with it. We don't want to tie ourselves up in a knot and get all tense. We want to be able to relax into it, okay? So bit by bit. And I always go for the wrong arm here. So just give me a moment to work out where we're going. Okay, so we can stay down on our elbows. If this is more than enough, if we're really tight through the glutes, if you've been doing a lot of walking or running, this might be where you want to stay. Otherwise, we start to work into the twist by taking the left arm under and coming down to the outside of the left shoulder, forehead or left cheek on the mat. You keep rolling your right hip downward in space. So you don't want to start to roll onto your left hip bone. Plug your right hip down. You can stay here. We're now stretching the top of the left shoulder and the right glute and the left hip flexor. Or you might want to circle your right arm around behind you, reaching toward your right big toe, which is close to your left hip bone. And we don't need to find the grip. It's just a little extra bind. And the focus, the energy here is downward. Relaxing into the mat to feel the sensations of the shape. And we'll take a few nice big breaths. And if you've taken that half bind with your right hand, start to release it. And let's bring the right hand back down to the mat underneath the right shoulder. Press into it so you can lift your left arm out from underneath your right. We're all going to start to lift the left arm up, and this will help open through the hips, and we swivel facing the long end of the mat, taking the hips wide. You might need to bring the legs a little closer together if that's too wide. Right heel lands around your groin. All right, left hand anchors to the inside of the left leg. Right hand behind right head. Draw the elbow back and lift it up. Big breath in. And then as you exhale, a little lean to the left. So we're lengthening through the right side of the body. Make sure that that right elbow isn't collapsing forward and down. We're peeling it back and up. Maybe even the gaze is up for 3. 2. 1. Releasing the right hand, sending it back up to lift all the way up. And then from here, we're going to circle the left leg forward and then around to the outside of the right knee. So we're roughly coming toward facing the front of the mat again. If you're not all the way there, that's fine. A little twist now. Left hand comes back behind us. Right arm is going to reach up. Inhale. Exhale, hook elbow to the outside of the knee. Inhale, sit tall. Exhale, draw left shoulder and gaze back. For 3. 2. 1. Okay, where are we going with all this? We're going to inhale, keep the legs as they are, unravel. Exhale, send the right leg forward. So that leg that's tucked under goes forward in space. And we're going to start to lean out to the right. So we'll counter twist. I'm actually going to turn myself around to face you. So leaning out to the right. Counter twisting. And we can stay here. This might be more than enough today, or we're going to work into a funky little arm balance. So we're right leg forward, left foot hooked to the outside of the right knee. Got my mum and my husband doing the yoga behind the camera, and they both just got distracted and they have no idea where we are. So a little counter twist. We're facing toward the right side. Right hand is going to come down underneath the right shoulder, and we're going to lean into it. So we're coming to an arm balance. This is just a little play. All right, leaning into it, you might want to reach to grab the outside edge of the right foot, and then we're going to lean into the right hand, pick the hips up for 3, 2, 1. Bring the hips back down. And like, what even were we just doing there? It's okay. Ground through both sit bones, reach both arms up, draw both knees up into your chest, big breath in. And then as you exhale, lengthen all the way down on your mat. So remember, I did turn myself around. I'm just going to turn myself back around. So my feet are to the front of my mat. My hands are reaching up to the back of the mat. Keep your hands reaching up and back. Bend your knees. Plant the soles of your feet down. Feet are hip distance apart and parallel. Press into the feet. Inhale, lift the hips up. Make sure the knees go no wider than hip distance. Feel the tops of the shoulders, the back of the head on the mat. Draw chin toward chest. For 3, 2, 1. We're going to keep the hips up. Inhale, lift the hands up. Notice the shoulders move on the mat. I'm just going to move that microphone. Exhale, bring the hands down by the sides, press downward into the palms, and then maybe we have a little more lift with the hips on the inhale. Make sure the knees don't splay any wider. Exhale carefully. Lower vertebra by vertebra downward toward your mat. Once your hips are down, draw your knees up into your chest. Give yourself a nice little hug, and if you feel tempted to roll left or right, let that happen. Give your lower back a little bit of a massage. All right, we're going to start to rock up and down the length of the spine. So coming back to center. Starting to rock up and down the length of the spine. Start small. We're going to gain momentum. We're going to end up in our Utkatasana. So we're going to end up on our feet. So just have a think about what that means. And then when you're ready, a nice big bit of momentum, rocking forward, plunging the feet down and lifting up. And if you took your feet wide, walk them together. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, sit the hips low, tuck the tailbone under. For 3, 2, 1. Big breath in, and then exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, half lift, lengthen out. Exhale, fold, plant the hands and step it straight back down dog. And take a full breath in. And complete exhale. Inhale, left leg reaches high. Exhale, bend the knee, peel open the hip. Inhale, left knee even higher. So imagine you're drawing your line with the left knee. Make it arced like a rainbow and smooth. As you exhale, circle your left knee around to your right tricep, draw forward. Inhale, circle your knee wide, back and up. Not too quickly. Exhale, circle it around, draw forward to the right tricep. One more time. Inhale, left knee up and high. Exhale, forward and through to the right tricep. Inhale to the left tricep. Exhale to the left wrist, and then knee comes down, left foot hooks toward the right wrist, right knee comes down, even through the hips, find that in your body. Untuck the right toes so the top of the right foot is on the mat. Start to sink the hips downward. Remember, you can support with something underneath your left sit bone as we come into our half pigeon. Hips stay even, that's the most important thing here. I'm going to start to work forward so the spine is long. We're not working into a back bend. Draw chin toward chest so the neck is long as well. And this is beautiful. This is a lot. Big stretch out for the left glute, for the right hip flexor. Working on finding heaviness through the evenness of your hips. And you might want to stay here today. If you did move toward the twist on the other side, I would recommend doing the same here. You want to keep your practice as even as possible. But if it doesn't quite work the same on this side, that's okay. If you're moving into the twist, we're pressing into the left hand, threading the right arm under. Coming down onto the right shoulder, onto the right cheek. You might notice your left hip wanting to pull up a little bit. Keep plugging the left hip down. Take a few breaths, allow the body to go heavy. Stay or we deepen the twist by circling the left arm around toward the right hip, maybe finding the left big toe. It's just a sweet little bind, and once you've got that grip, if you've reached for it, you can really let the body relax around it. Go for 5 big breaths here, maybe the eyes closed. Wherever you are, remember no judgment, no expectation, just feeling into the moment you've found within yourself. Doesn't matter what it looks like, how are you experiencing it today? If you have taken that bind, start to release and circle your left hand back down toward the mat. Press into it, lifting yourself up. Unthread your right arm if it was threaded through. And then we're just going to peel our hips open so we come to face the long edge of the mat on the right side. I will have my back toward you. I'm not going to turn myself around. So please excuse my back. Legs end up quite wide. If this is too wide, notice how my right sit bone is lifting. I need to bring my right leg in a little bit so both sit bones ground. Left heel moves in toward the groin. Right hand is to the inside of the right leg, so that can act as an anchor. Left hand is behind the head. Draw the elbow upward to open across the chest. Inhale. Lengthen through both sides of the waist. Keep as much length as you can as you exhale. Move out toward the right. More space through the left. Both sit bones are anchored down on the mat. So if you feel yourself starting to creep up to one side, come out of the shape a little bit and ground. Chest upward. Left side is long. Breathing into the space you're creating for 3, 2, 1. Use the inhale to reach the left arm up. The exhale circles the left hand around and down. And we're coming back into our twist. So the right leg sweeps forward until the right foot finds the outside of the left knee. Pick your hips up, pop them back down again so both sit bones are still grounded. Right hand behind right hip, left arm lifts, big breath in. And then exhale, hook left elbow to the outside of the right knee. Inhale, sit nice and tall. Exhale, look back over the right shoulder. Keep the length of the spine. Feel the depth of this twist. For 3, 2, 1. Use the in-breath to unravel. Look forward, unhook the elbows. Use the exhale, counter twist to the other side, and we're going to unhook that left leg from underneath us. Send the left leg long. So we might just stay here and enjoy this counter twist. Otherwise, we're moving toward that weird little arm balance. It's a little bit of fun. You want to take weight into the right foot and the left hand. The right foot is grounded, left hand is grounded. Left elbow hooks in toward your left side so it acts as a little shelf. Right hand reaches toward the outside of the left foot. Lean into your left hand, lean into your shoulders, and pick your hips up for 3, 2, 1. Be playful, ground the hips back down. Untwist, look forward, unhook your right leg. Let's land on the sit bones. Inhale, pick the feet up. And then exhale, lengthen all the way out on the mat. All the way out. I think I'm going behind the pillow. And feel this nice length of the body. Enjoy it. We're going to keep the arms up overhead, and this time we're going to bend the knees. Bring the soles of the feet together and allow the knees to spread wide in your Supta Baddha Konasana. Enjoying a nice little opening of the insides of the thighs. Let the body ground. If this feels quite strong, you can take some cushions to the outsides of your thighs and just give your knees a little support. Or if that's still not feeling great today, feet wide, knees together. Listening to your body. I like to have my arms up overhead here because I really feel a sense of openness across my chest. I'm going to just be here for a couple more breaths. If your arms are up overhead, reach down to the outsides of your thighs and help the knees back together. Draw the knees up into your chest. Give yourself a squeeze. If you're on a rock and roll, left to right, go for it. Massage out that lower back. And then we're all going to start to rock up and down the length of the spine again. So if we don't land in our Utkatasana, that's okay. Let's not be too expectation focused here. Just feel in your body how you might be able to transfer the weight all the way forward. I've fallen over so many times doing this. So let yourself have fun with it, gaining momentum, and then grounding through the feet, lifting up and sitting into your Utkatasana. If your feet landed wide like mine did, shuffle them together. Squeeze the inner thighs together. Inhale, reach the arms a little higher. Exhale, bring hands to heart, and we're going to go for a squat, crouching all the way down. Staying on your tippy toes. Lengthen the crown of the head up, and this is a big balance. This might be more than enough. Otherwise, we're going to pull together everything that we've been doing and go for a side crow variation. So it's an arm balance. We don't need to get all the way there. We're just exploring. Squeeze the inner thigh, sit tall. Maybe you want to stay here, or we're going to twist to the right first. I'm going to face you. Left elbow to the outside of the right knee. Press into your knee so you can draw back through the shoulders. Try not to let the knees move to the left. Okay, this might be enough. You might want to stay here, work on this opening. Otherwise, look down and plant the hands down. Both palms need to be on the mat or the floor, and hands are shoulder distance apart. Fingers are spread. So we're working on a little seesaw action. The weight needs to come out of the hips into the shoulders. At the moment, the hips are lower than the shoulders, so that needs to change. We need to really lift the hips up, lower the shoulders by bending the elbows, making a shelf, and then having a little play with maybe picking the feet up. Keep squeezing the inner thighs, pressing away from the mat. Pressing away from the mat rather than sinking toward it. Wherever you are, turn the corners of your mouth up for 3, 2, 1. Feet land if they were lifted. Bring some weight out of your hands. Just take a moment. No expectation, no judgment. Squeeze the inner thighs and come back to center. We're going to go straight out to the other side. I'm falling into the garden again. So we're twisting to the left this time. It might be a completely different experience, so give it a go. Reach the arms up, inhale. Exhale, hands to heart. Right elbow to the outside of the left knee. Notice if your knees have started to turn to the right, bring your knees back to center. Press your elbow into your knee so your left shoulder is the one that's pulling back there. We're finding the twist. You can stay here. Our hands come down toward your left side. Hands need to be shoulder distance apart. Elbows need to wrap in. So it's that wrapping in of the armpit action that does that. Leaning, making that shelf, shoulders lower, lift, and I might be pressing into the mic pack. Let me just move that. Find that little seesaw action. And then squeeze the inner thighs. Maybe find a little lightness through the feet. Breathing wherever you are. Push away from the mat. Press down through your hands. Lift up. For 3, 2, 1. Feet land. Back to center. Oh my goodness. Inhale. Exhale. Draw the hips back and take a seat. So feet together, knees go wide, Baddha Konasana. I'm just going to give the wrists a little bit of a roll. Sitting nice and tall. And then hands are going to go underneath the ankles. Make sure your heels aren't too close to your groins. If you want to move them away a bit more, go for it. Leaning forward. Allowing the shoulder blades to separate. And the head to go heavy. Forehead toward heels, chin toward chest. The spine curls slightly. We're creating as much space on our backs as we can. Increasing the surface area of your back. Maybe you can do this even more so by breathing into your back. Letting go of any expectations that built around the shapes that we made today, any feelings around them. We're not here to achieve anything, just to be present in our practice. So instead of thinking back to any particular shape, as you be here, be in this shape. Feel the way it affects your body. Feel it calm and ground and center. Start to draw that lens of focus back inward. And it's interesting to witness how we respond to challenges, and our practice gives us a really good safe space to be able to observe this. How do you respond to a challenge? What happens? And I find for me that focus, that lens, immediately goes wider again. And I start to think about all the things around me and it gets really scattered. So when you observe how you feel, you can start to notice that happening when you're off your mat. And if your immediate response is something like mine is being scattered, you can be more conscious about moving away from that. So this is how our practice helps us. It doesn't matter about how long our hamstrings are, how deep our forward folds are, how strong our arm balances are. It's how we take these lessons off our mat and into our lives. All right, coming out of our little turtle shape. Lengthening up. Taking the hands to the outsides of the thighs, bring the knees up and in. And then we're going to walk the feet wide. You might want to lift the hips and place them back down. Place the hips up, roll your some height. Toes are pointing up, knees are pointing up, spine long. Wiggle your sit bones out behind you. Hands come in front of you. They do not need to be too far away. Just like we did at the beginning of our practice, we're going to work on length through the spine by sending the chest between the upper arms. So it doesn't need to be a big movement. It's just a slight shift. Press down through your fingers or your palms if they're fully down. And as you inhale, draw your chest between your upper arms. Look forward. As you exhale, we're going to look down, so draw your chin in toward your throat. Keep the tilt of the sit bones back and lean forward a little bit. So maybe a bend of the elbows. It doesn't need to be big. We're going to do this again. Inhale, press the arms to straight. Draw the chest between the upper arms. Keep the sit bones tilting back. The belly button drawing toward your lower back. Inhale, chin draws in. Feel length all the way down the spine as maybe you bow forward. Twice more. Inhale, chest between the upper arms. It's that pulling through, lengthening out. Exhale. One more deep breath in. And long breath out. Inhale, coming to sit back up tall. Exhale, take the hands behind you. Lean back. Keep the right leg long. Bend the left knee. So you're coming to sit with like half a leg crossed or one leg crossed, not both legs crossed. Now we're going to bend the right knee. And we're going to pick the right leg up and hold a baby. So you can take left hand to right foot, right hand to right knee, or you can hook in the elbows. And we're going to have a little rock. Keep sitting tall, keep feeling the length of the spine. We've done a lot of twists, we've done quite a bit of glute opening. So we're going to pull that into a nice big stretchy shape. This might be enough, this might be quite strong on the glute, we can stay. Otherwise, left hand comes to the outside of the right foot, right hand hooks underneath, and it's sort of like you're putting a backpack on your right shoulder. Your right leg is the backpack. Right hand comes down to the mat, and you want to press into it. In front of your right hip, sort of, right? Lean into it slightly, and then extend your right leg as long as you can. Maybe start to hook your head under your left armpit and look up. So we're expanding open, but the bind of hand to foot is sort of making us twist through the torso. For 3, drive out through that right heel. For 2, for 1, if you've looked up, look down, unhook your head. And then unhook your arm and bring your foot back down. And we'll go straight to the side, left leg long. Right leg is bent, sitting nice and tall. Both sit bones are grounded. This is really important. And then we bend the left knee and we find either hands to knee and foot, or we rock the baby for a bit. And we go step by step. Okay? There's a step where you're like, this is me. I want to work here because I'm just trying to work out what I'm feeling. That's a great place to stay. It might be here. It might be when we take the right hand to the outside of the foot. So go on top of the foot, wrap the fingers around. Left arm comes underneath and we put that backpack on. Doesn't need to be all the way up on the shoulder, not important. Once the backpack is on, the left hand needs to come down and take some weight. So you need to be able to press out of the left hand, drive up the left heel like you're trying to kick the ceiling away from you. And then once that's driving up, you want to hook your head underneath your right armpit and then expand everything as much as you can. Twisting to the right. For 3. Like press. 2. For 1. And unhooking your head, unhooking your leg. Coming back down, sitting with your legs crossed. Giving yourself a little shake if you feel that's what you want to do. And then with the cross of your legs, just notice which leg is in front. And if it's the cross that you always take, if this feels super normal, switch it. And it will feel a little bit abnormal. And it's likely that you're sitting in cross when we started. So we're going to sit now in our abnormal cross. Ground through the sit bones, lengthen through the spine, close down the eyes. And we start to let go of the physical aspect of our practice. If you need to sit in a different shape to find more comfort, please do so. If you want to raise the hips a little bit, that's a really good option. But otherwise, just sitting and observing. And we're going to take some really subtle movements before we pick a pranayama and find our shavasana. So in your mind's eye, find the length of your spine, feel it. We're going to keep the spine long and just move through the neck. So inhaling. Exhale, allow your chin to draw down toward your chest. Right in toward the collarbones. And then inhale slowly. Use the full length of your breath. Lift the head back up to center. So not rushing this movement. Moving so slowly, we're not even sure if we're moving at all. And then the chin has found the collarbones. Exhale. Inhale, head back to center. Exhale, chin to collarbones. Keep your chin there. Exhale, roll your right ear around toward your right shoulder. Doesn't need to go all the way. We start to find some length through the left side of the neck. Keep your left shoulder heavy. Exhale, chin back to collarbones at center. Slow, subtle movements. Inhale, right ear rests toward the right shoulder. It doesn't need to go all the way there. Exhale, chin back to collarbones. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Head stays heavy. Let's take it the other way. Inhale, left ear toward left shoulder. Start to find some length through the right side of the neck. Keep the chin tucked. Exhale, head back to center, chin to collarbones. Two more times on this side. Inhale, keep heaviness through both shoulders. Exhale. Notice if the spine has started to curl. Let's keep it straight. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, lift your head up to center. And then just feel the head balance completely evenly on the neck, on the shoulders. Exhale. Inhale, visualize the breath going all the way up the length of the spine, all the way up to the top of the neck. There's a lightness in this seat. Exhale. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose, we're going to come into our Brahmari pranayama, our bumblebee breath. So this can be done in two ways. It can be done making a sound, or it can be done just visualizing the sound. The making of the sound is much easier to really sit in the practice. So I'm going to do that. If you prefer to just visualize the making of the sound, please do so. So this pranayama is a breath in through the nose, a breath out through the nose as you hum and find a vibration in the lips. So in through the nose and hum the exhale. Noticing when you're empty, inhale. And hum the exhale. And it doesn't have to be in time with me, just whenever you're out of breath, fill back up. And hum the exhale. Making this next exhale your last with the Brahmari breathing. Emptying out and pausing. And a slow inhale through the nose. And subtle pause at the top, acknowledging the moment. And a slow exhale through the nose. You might want to stay seated for a meditation, otherwise we're going to lie ourselves down toward our Shavasana, so moving slowly. Perhaps not blinking open the eyes, just trusting yourself to take yourself down to the mat by leaning back, uncrossing the legs from underneath you, lengthening them out, starting to melt downward. The back of the body finds a heaviness. If the lower back niggles at all, it can be a really nice option to have something underneath your knees. As you lie back, if you feel the urge to move, to adjust at all, take a few moments to do that. Really find a position of comfort. And then once you're there, set the intention of stillness. And we've worked with different breathing techniques. We've worked through a lot of asana, a lot of physical movement. That took us to very different places. So now we let all that assimilate, let all that connect inward. And this is the space where we meet the benefits of our practice, where we learn the lessons. If we rush away from this space, all the work that we just did doesn't settle in the way that it could. So really give yourself time here. Acknowledge any urges to get up and move on into your day. Meet this stillness, and if it's a challenge, that's okay. As you lie back, if your body has started to tense, scan over it and consciously loosen and relax. So starting with the heels, they go heavy. And this heaviness in the heels allows the feet to relax, the toes to roll out slightly. And the backs of the calves are heavy, so the muscles within them soften. And the knees are slightly turned out, the muscles around them relaxed. And quads relax, the backs of the thighs heavy. And the glutes drawn downward into the mat. The outer edges of the hips rolling outward and grounding downward after all that inward and upward moving. And you'll feel a natural lift of the lower back away from the mat. Acknowledge that space. If you're still active and tense through the belly, let it relax with a big breath in. And stay soft as you exhale. The chest is open, the shoulders are relaxing back and down, so that the arms can be loose beside the body, arms rolling out to the palms are turned up. Fingers are relaxed on the hands so that they roll in toward the palms. There is a lift of the back of the neck away from the mat. Notice that natural space. And then feel the heaviness of the back of the head. In order to encourage this true heaviness, the face relaxes completely, the jaw unclenches. The tongue goes soft in the mouth. The space between the top and bottom teeth. And the cheeks relax, the nostrils don't flare. And the space between the eyebrows is smooth and carefree. The eyelids are softly closed over the eyeballs, and the eyeballs are relaxed in their sockets. And we just allow ourselves to be here. And this is where I'm going to leave you this morning, enjoying the fruit of your practice. Thank you for so much. Thank you so much for coming and moving and breathing with me. Namaste.